historically only, but also with a dual prophecy, those who are at the end of the age, sitting at the brink of Yaakov's trouble and the end of the age. So the epistles are written, look at me please, the epistles are written to how many congregations? They have an immediate historical message, but they also have an end-time prophetic message. They are written to the 7 kihilot at the brink of the end of the age, or at the brink of Yaakov's trouble. I'm going to go quickly now, because I have a lot to cover. Verse 12. Gileanah, chapter 2, verse 12. To the teaching overseer of the congregation in the house of Togarma, write, these things says he who has a sharp sword with the 2 edges. How many know that this is who? Who do you think this is? The one with the sharp sword with the 2 edges? Correct. Yeshua had a 2-edged razor blade before there ever was 2-edged razors, but he never used it. He didn't shave. But the word of Yahweh is a sword with the 2 edges. I know your mitzvot, your deeds, and where you dwell, even where Satan's seat is. So Bet Togarma was known in ancient times, at the time of Rav Shaul and Yeshua, as Pergamum or Pergamos. Today it is known as Bergamos, with a B rather than a P. So it goes under by all these names. If you go on the internet, look up Pergamos, it's the same place. Look up Pergamum, it's the same place. Look up Bergamos or Bergamum, it's all the coastal city, the ancient coastal city of Pergamum, in Hebrew Bet Togarma, the house of Togarma. I know your deeds, Pergamos. I have believers there, but you believe in me even though Satan's throne is there. But one of the ways you overcome Satan's throne in modern-day Turkey, Asia Minor, the coastal city of Pergamos, in one of the 7 congregations, both historically and in the last days, you hold fast to my name. What is Yahweh's name? Yahweh. You hold fast to my name, and you have not denied the emunah in me, even in the days when Antipas, my faithful martyr, was slain, where S.A.Tan dwells. So in those days, the believers in Pergamos were surviving in the power and the throne of S.A. Why do we call him S.A.Tan? Because his derriere is going to be fried in the lake of fire. Very hot, man. Very hot. Yahweh is going to charcoal that boy. So since he hides my father's name 7,000 times from the scriptures, I've taken the liberty to pervert his title. Doesn't have a name. Satan means the adversary. Doesn't have a name. So those in Pergamos, which is modern-day Turkey, ancient Asia Minor, did not deny Yahweh's name. They did not deny the emunah, faith in Yeshua, even in the days of martyrdom, where S.A.Tan dwells. Number 1, his throne is where he dwells. Look at verse 13. Revelation 2:13. Satan dwells there because his throne is there, somebody. Are you with me? Why does Satan dwell in Pergamos, Beit Togarma, Pergamum, Bergamum? Why? Because Satan's throne is there, so he dwells there. Can I hear a good amen? To that by Yahweh. Verse 14. But I have a few things against you, Yeshua says to the Kehillah, because you have amongst all this idolatry in Pergamum, Bet Togarma, those who hold the teaching of Bilam, who taught Balak, the king of Moab, to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel. So whatever's happening in Pergamos, or where the ancient Nazarene Israelite synagogue of Pergamos was located, there was martyrdom, there was a denial of Yeshua's name, Yahweh's name. There was a denial of faith in the death, burial, and resurrection of Yeshua HaMashiach. And there were major stumbling blocks to the community of believers, because that's where Satan dwells. And the reason Satan dwells there is because that's where his throne is. Yes, the word of Yahweh says Satan roams to and fro about the earth, seeking whom he may devour. Yes. But when he finishes his devouring and his hunting trips, he always goes back to his seat where he dwells, where he lives. Can I hear a good amen? And even in those days, the believers, the Nazarene Israelite believers who were doing the mitzvahs of Yahweh, had stumbling blocks to overcome because they were the children of Israel. And even as Balaam taught Balak to cast stumbling blocks, other religions, other deities, other Elohim, in front of the children. What is the sin of Balaam? The sin of Balaam is to cause Israel to sin by worshiping other Elohim. And so those who were faithful to Yahweh's name, those who didn't deny the faith in Yeshua HaMashiach, were being tempted constantly with stumbling blocks to deny the faith, to deny the Torah, and to deny Yeshua, who bought them with a price, somebody. Because there were false religions, stumbling blocks, foreign deities, the world center of foreign deities. To eat things sacrificed to idols. Notice, circle those words. Pergamum was the world headquarters of idolatry. Then and today. Turkey, Asia Minor, the seaboard city of Bet Togarma on the east coast of the Aegean Sea. As it was then, Marcel, so it is today. The world center of idolatria. And the children of Israel are still stumbling because of the seat of Satan, the one who lives there, the one whose throne is there, and the one who resides there. Verse 15. And you also have those in Pergamos. Look at verse 15. Where? In Pergamos. Turn to your neighbor and say, Pergamos in. In Pergamos. So where is this location that Yeshua is describing? In Bet Togarma. Not only are there idolatrous stumbling blocks galore in Bet Togarma, causing my people to deny me. There's a few who did not deny me, like Antipas, my martyr, who did not deny me. But most of the people in Bet Togarma are denying me because of a proliferation of idolatry. Verse 15. Not only that, Yeshua, the risen Yeshua, and by the way, it's not, when John the Revelator, no, John is not the Revelator, Yeshua is the Revelator, and Yochanan is the vessel through whom Yeshua is revelating. It is the revelation of Yeshua HaMashiach, which he showed, which must shortly come to pass, which he gave to his servants. So next time you hear a churchman stand up and say, let's go to the revelation of John the Beloved. No, let's not. Let's go to the revelation of Yeshua HaMashiach. You have those who hold the teaching of the Nicolaites. And contrary to popular opinion, this is not a new brand of cigarettes. Palmel Light, Marlboro Light, and Nicolite. Wrong. This has absolutely nothing to do with smokes. He smokes, I smoke, she smokes. This has absolutely nothing to do with cigarettes or simple Tiparillos. And I gotta confess to you, I gotta be honest. I smoked. Last Wednesday, when that grandbaby came out, man, I was in the backyard. I said, I'm gonna stink up the whole neighborhood. I'm gonna smell out all them neighbors playing that Eminem. And that punk rock. And JB, Mary Blige, Mary Unobliged. I don't know who these people are. Maybe you know them. I just stay away. So I said, now's my turn. And I got in the backyard with a little wine, a little King David wine, and I blew the smoke in all four directions. I had my, let's say I had my own little kibbutz galut. Because my grandbaby was born. Baruch Hashem. Now, I'm not a smoker. Please don't start any rumors, Wilbur. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. And Rivka, you should have seen Rivka. Stay out there. Don't you dare come in the house. Stay outside. It smells. I don't want you near the house. Come in, take a shower, change your clothes. My Rebbitzin. All right. She's looking out for me. So you have those who teach the teaching of the Nicolaitans. Now you've heard it taught in Protestant circles that the Nicolaitans are the Roman Catholic Church. Then we have the Seventh-day Adventist. And the Seventh-day Adventist said, if you depart from the teachings of Ellen G. White, the Adventist Church has gone into a Nicolaitan mode. So every religion calls every other religion Nicolaitan or Nicolaitans if they don't like what they're doing or they don't approve of what they're teaching. So I've even heard Seventh-day Adventists said, well, they used to be faithful to the teachings of Miss White, but now most of the Adventist Church is nothing but a bunch of Nicolaitans. I've heard that. None of the above. That's not what Yeshua was saying. Other people said, ha ha! Yo sale de congregación de Rabino Moshe. ¿Por qué? Es como mercado. He sells tapes, books. The word of Yahweh is free, man. It's free. Liberty. Free, no pay for the word of Yahweh. He sells. I'm leaving. Because he's a Nicolite. That's not what Nicolite means. Nicolite is something. Turn to your neighbor and say something. And by the way, I don't sell soap. I don't sell lamps. I don't sell carpet. I don't sell dishwashers. I sell the things that we need to survive. As long as I don't make Yahweh's house a house of merchandise. I do my selling on the internet. I don't do my selling. We don't have a bookstore in here.
Amen. Amen. Uh-oh. Get them straight. Yeah.
But that's not the point. So what is this teaching of the Nicolaitans? People say if you have authority, you're a Nicolite. If you're in a denomination, you're a Nicolite. No. He's talking to the Kehillah at what? Pergamos, Bet Togarma. Who lives? Whose throne is in Bet Togarma? Whose throne? S period, A period, Tan. Who dwells in Bet Togarma? S period, A period. So that whatever he's selling has to come out of there. And we'll see shortly what he was selling then. It's the same thing that he's selling now. False religion, stumbling blocks to the people of Israel. That's what he's selling. That's what he's marketing. That's what he's distributing. False Elohim to the people of Israel, somebody. And to the world. From his base of operations. And through these selling and merchandising of a false deity, he teaches believers and the things in the world, people in the world, to eat things sacrificed to idols, to commit fornication. Not just physical fornication, but spiritual adultery, walking away from Yahweh and walking into the harlot chambers of a different deity. And all that power, all that emanation comes from Pergamos. Yeshua is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Ephraim chapter 13, verse 8. He is the same yesterday and forever. Malachi 3:6. I am Yahweh, I change not. But guess what? Yahweh doesn't change, and neither does S period, A period. Can't change. He has the same home. He has the same throne. He has the same spirit. So the deed of the Nicolaitans, listen, is Islamic clerics and their religious hierarchy, which teachings I hate. I'll say that again. The teaching and the deeds of the Nicolaitans are Islamic clerics and their religious hierarchy, just like he hated the Greek priests in the time of Yeshua who were teaching religious heresy and doctrines of demons. They came from the same place. The teaching has evolved, but the power and the throne is the same place. Are you with me? So the teaching of the Nicolaites and the deeds of the Nicolaites have changed, but the hierarchy, because in polytheism, in Greek polytheism, it was the Greek priests who were in charge. Hercules, and sacrificed to Zeus, and sacrificed to Mercury. You with me? And today, Satan has changed his doctrine, but not his power base, not his MO, not the way he operates. He hasn't changed. It's coming from the same place. Pergamos, where there was a handful of faithful believers. So Yeshua says, I hate the teaching of the Nicolaites. What is the teaching of the Nicolaites today, brethren? Can anyone guess? Islam, the Quran, the Islamic clerics, like, let's take an example, Rafsanjani in Iran, or the Ayatollah Khomeini, the Ayatollah Khomeini. There's this religious hierarchy. You don't understand Islam. You think you do, but the Western world has sold you a bill of goods. These people are idolaters. It's the same spirit. How do I know? Every year they go to Iraq, to the holy city, and they emasculate themselves, and they punish themselves, and they tear their skin, and they flagellate themselves in memory of Muhammad's grandson, Hussein. They worship Hussein for healing. They pray to Hussein for healing. That's Muhammad's grandson. There's no difference between Saint Valentine, Saint Nick, and Saint Pedro. It's saint worship. You didn't know that. You didn't know Muslims worship saints. That's polytheism. They can deny that and call it monotheism, but in fact, it is polytheism. Now watch. The teaching of the Nicolaites is, there is one God, who has clerics and a religious hierarchy through which he teaches. Yeshua says, I hate that. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. Make teshuvah, verse 16. Don't get caught in that culture, he tells his faithful remnant in Pergamos. Or else I will come to you quickly, and I will fight against those who buy into this Nicolite doctrine and teachings and religious hierarchy, ecclesiastical hierarchy of a false deity. I will fight against them with the sword of my mouth, meaning with the true word of Yahweh. Meaning Yeshua says that if the people in that region do not make teshuvah, I will fight against them with the word of Yahweh, the sword of my mouth, because the word of Yahweh is more powerful than a two-edged sword. Ephraim 4:12, somebody. One of the reasons